In the middle between the marks the minimum and maximum when the oil is overflowed over a liter. Well then, the nuances that you should know about filling, changing, adding oil on a Zhiguli. The video prompted me to do it on. This video is the fact that many car enthusiasts, well, such questions arise that, well, really for which, the solution of which, well, doesn't require any, you just need to know about it. So let's start from the very beginning. Buying. Don't pay attention to how crap my engine is. This is not the most important thing for him. Buying a canister of oil, we get 5 liters of oil in standard packaging. Our engine is Zhigulevsky, be it 0. The first 11th 366 does not matter what the oil volume is 3750. Well, roughing the bosom of the system. Our calculus is not the same as in Europe it was and is. Accordingly, we don't bottle it in gallons because it wouldn't be very convenient for calculation. As I understand it, plus it's better to sell at 5 LTV than at 4. So, is it possible to pour, say, the entire canister into the engine at once if, when changing the oil? Yes, in principle, there can be problems. There won't be any Navita capable of withstanding transfers up to 2 liters, by and large. This is not deadly. Means I want to note this point. More probes means the probe for measuring mass is located on the left side of the engine. Well, everyone probably knows and is represented on it. Let's take a closer look here. We need to go here. The so-called one tag card on a Zhiguli is presented, so it will be easier to see. Yes, probes. There are 3 types on Zhiguli. There are probes 0. The first one is longer but in principle no different from 3 or 6's 0. First is worth eating. Their long short ones, but from the distance from it means here a ring like this costs well it does not allow the rubber band to move either up or down. From this distance to the marks there is exactly the same distance. The only thing on the 7 is that there are dipsticks that are inserted at the top of the oil separator. Well, they are there completely. They are not as long as our standard ones. They have this kind of graduation, which means the minimum and maximum distance is here. Between the minimum and maximum marks I think this will be visible. Yes, this is a liter of oil in our engine. Accordingly, when you fill up the engine, change the oil in the engine, your fill is let's say 3750. The mark will be somewhere in the middle of the oil. There will be a trace of oil. In the middle between the marks this is considered a normal level. In the middle between the marks the minimum and maximum when the oil is overflowed over a liter. Well then, there is this distance somewhere. Again, take the distance from the minimum to the maximum above the maximum. Take it here under here. It will be about a liter for us. We will overfill it. Nothing bad will happen to our engine. It has been tested several times even. You can pour more. I knew restless car enthusiasts who poured 2 liters from above, but also keep in mind, well, I filled 100 liters myself. Well, on the road it often happens. Gulya, such a problem occurs when getting on. A stone or some deep hole can be broken off. The oil receiver is located very close to the sump and the thin pan bends and the oil pickup breaks. The oil pressure does not immediately show 0, it drops, that's all. Unfortunately the car doesn't drive, but the solution to this problem is very simple. Add oil, add a liter from above and everything is fine. It becomes possible to travel for more than 1 year after this. In this way the only thing when you take the exam, back up sharply there or turn hard on corners the car will turn off. Oil willow oil light, that's it. There will be a deficiency. It means look at the oil. You can add it above the maximum level. Let's say, per liter, you can freely top up if you poured it to the distance between you need to pour it. In principle there are problems. There won't be any if the oil is less than the minimum. The same thing. In principle there won't be any problems, but in the process of moving, again when driving backwards, if you start moving backwards, you will drive if it is there. It will be cold when cornering and when braking hard the oil light will start leaking and it will take a long time for you to break through. And during this time you will be able to understand what needs to be done, what to do again. If the oil is below the minimum, it will not be fatal. The car, nothing will happen to it. The only thing is that it will start to behave like this when turning on. Well, you understand when. If the roads there are somehow very skewed, your road will be overflowing and not much. It's clear now. There's one more. The moment the oil is filled, then we check it as we check the mass level of a car. Warmed up, you immediately take it out and wipe off the oil that is on it. Don't look right away, don't. We look because there will be someone there who knows what will not be clear. Insert the dipstick normally, insert it all the way and look. Level, pause, I'll get it, yes, look, it's very clear, I have it now. Level mass located between the metacard. This shooting filled a liter of oil, so I didn't have any oil. In general, we'll draw a conclusion from the dipstick. That's what I was driving and I already get pressure in the morning when driving. What has dropped? Well, that's how I am. Rider, in short, we understood how to check the oil, inserted, took out the dipstick, rubbed. It's clear how much oil we have in our engines. That means it's clear that the dipstick is inserted before. Stop, it fits in easily, it's all easy. Oil is poured through the oil filler neck here on top of the covers. There is a plug like this on the valves. It says oil. Don't laugh that I'm telling this because there are many I knew people who filled it with oil through the dipstick. They think it's more convenient. Well, basically it's all about pouring oils for such moments by overflowing everything I think is clear. So comment and like, maybe someone didn't like it. Dislikes, subscribe to the channel. All the best.